In this video, we'll break down the three cloud service models. What is IaaS and when would you use it? What does PaaS handle for you? What counts as SaaS? And most importantly, how do you pick the right one? By the end, you'll be able to look at any workload and decide whether it belongs on IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS. You want to run an application in the cloud, but here's the first question. How much do you want to manage yourself? Do you want full control over the operating system and every config file? Or do you just want to deploy your code and let someone else deal with the plumbing? Think of it like housing. You can buy land and build from scratch, you can rent an apartment and just move in, or you can stay at a hotel where everything is handled. IaaS gives you the raw building blocks: virtual machines, virtual networks, storage disks. The cloud provider manages the physical hardware, the data center, cooling, and network cables. But everything from the operating system up is yours. You install the OS, you patch it, you configure the firewall, you deploy your app. Azure Virtual Machines is the classic IaaS example. Use IaaS when you need full control, or you're migrating an on-prem server to the cloud with minimal changes. The trade-off, you inherit the most responsibility. Let's get specific. Lift and shift migration. You have an existing application on a physical server. You create a VM in Azure with the same OS, copy the app over, and it runs. No code changes needed. Testing and development. Your team needs different environments with different OS versions. Spin them up, test, tear them down. You pay only while they exist. PaaS goes a step further. The provider manages the infrastructure and the operating system. You just bring your code. Azure App Service is the go-to example. You push your code, Node.js, Python, .NET, whatever, and Azure handles the server, the OS updates, the load balancing, and the SSL certificates. You don't SSH into anything. Use PaaS when you want to focus on your application logic and stop managing servers. The trade-off, you lose control over the underlying OS. PaaS shines for development frameworks. Azure App Service gives you auto-scaling, custom domains, and deployment slots. You can deploy a staging version, test it, then swap it to production with zero downtime. For data, Azure SQL Database is PaaS. You create a database, connect your app, and Azure handles backups, patching, and high availability. You never touch the underlying server. SaaS is the most managed model. You don't deploy anything. You just sign in and use the application. Microsoft 365 is SaaS. So is Outlook, Teams, and OneDrive. The provider handles everything: the infrastructure, the platform, the application code, and the updates. You configure the application to your needs, set up user accounts and permissions, but you never touch the code or the servers. The trade-off, you have the least flexibility. Here's how to think about all three side by side. As you move from IaaS to PaaS to SaaS, you manage less and the provider manages more. IaaS is maximum control, maximum responsibility. SaaS is minimum control, minimum effort. PaaS sits in the middle. On the exam, the key question is always, what does the customer need to manage? If they're patching an OS, it's IaaS. If they're just deploying code, it's PaaS. If they're just logging in, it's SaaS. The choice comes down to control versus convenience. More control means more work. Less control means faster delivery but less flexibility. Next up, Azure Core Architecture.